Over the weekend, Michael B. Jordan made headlines after calling out one of his classmates from high school for calling him corny. On the red carpet premiere of Creed 3, Jordan was interviewed by Morning Hustle host L'Oreal. During the interview, Jordan called out L'Oreal for calling him corny in high school, which she denied despite Jordan saying that he heard her. The awkward interview was interrupted by Jordan's co-star Jonathan Majors, who would also question L'Oreal on the interview. She would end the interview by saying, "Well, you're not corny anymore." This interaction has us wondering what is considered corny and why do we look down on it. Today we have our company hype analysts, Capone and Pierre, calling to the show to give their thoughts and reactions. But first, let's take a look at this clip.
And you know, we know each other. We go way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
Oh, the corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure. No, you did not hear me say corny. I said we used to make fun of the name. Well, you're not corny anymore.
Now, this has been the talk of the town. A lot of people, even I'm surprised that he continued to finish the interview, but I want your reactions. Pierre, I'm going to start with you. What's your reaction to it, and are you surprised that he continued to finish the interview?
No, I'm not surprised. First of all, big ups to both of them. He kept his little pettiness with him. Reminded her what he heard her say or thought he said. I don't know until I hear the audio. If she really said that. She played it off good too. She laughed it off and kept it moving and kept it, professional. Didn't turn it into a bad moment, which I thought was dope on her part. And then he, realized he said what he said. He got into the interview mode and finished the interview. I thought that was great. To say if he said it or not, here's the thing I know. The great Maya Angelou once said this. I'm going to paraphrase it. People don't always remember what you said, but they always remember how you made them feel. So maybe she didn't say he was corny, but in school he might have been called corny. And, she might have made a joke about his about his name. And he just felt like, oh, y'all used to all call me corny. Boom. Well, I didn't call you corny. We were talking about your name, but you went a little further because everyone called you corny. You hit me on with it. So I don't know until I hear the audio, but I think it was dope the way they both worked it off, and it went smoothly for me.
Yeah, no, and great pointing that out. I definitely noticed that as well. Capone, let me bring you in. Same thing. What's your reaction? And are you surprised that Michael B. Jordan continued the interview?
Yeah, he's a professional, and it's all about promoting of the movie. I think he jabbed her with what he said. Mm-hmm. The basics of it is she became corny because of the fact that after all that was said, I think it was her, if I'm sure, she said, well, you're not corny anymore. So that gives me an indication that she did say it.
Mm. Well, it turns out L'Oreal was right. There was some audio that did resurface from the interview that Michael B. Jordan was referencing. So I want you all to take a listen to it, and we'll come back and get your reaction.
You know what I really think deep down inside? I think that Michael B. Jordan is just like a nice, corny guy. And I don't mean that as a slight, right? We all know that the nice, corny guys treat you the best.
You know, it's so crazy. I went to school with Michael B. Jordan at a point in life, and we went to Chad Science together in Newark. And to be honest with you, we teased him all the damn time because his name was Michael Jordan. Let's start there. And he was no Michael Jordan. And then he also would come to school with headshot. And back then, that was like in the hood. We lived in Newark.
Yeah.
Like that's the hood. You know what I mean? So we would make fun of him, like, what you gonna do with your little stupid headshots? Like, and now look at him.
Look at him. He got that Black Panther money.
Well, yeah, I didn't exactly. I missed mine. I could have been in an aquarium swimming with the fishes, but
with your Hermes stock or whatever.
Instead I'm swimming in Mexico by myself, child. But anyway,
he gives me cookie cutter, and the only time I hung out with Michael B is like in LA, like at Shay's house, and he's always just very he's just cool. I think
he's too rich to have to be hood now. Like you just be, boy, if you don't take your millions and go to Hermes and get some stock.
Now, to clarify, that was her co-host, Dominique the Diva. She would go on to further explain via Instagram, and here's what she has to say. She said, the blogs only post half BS. They mad at L'Oreal when it was me who called him corny. Any black man that dates white women is corny to me. I guess that PR relationship with Lori helped y'all forget, but I didn't. Anything I said, I'll say once again. Nick Cannon is corny too. He got mad women, babies, and money. I thought we were all doing our Sierra prayer for a nice, corny Russell Wilson to save us from these toxic ninjas. No, corny ain't bad. That's 70% of the guys in the industry. Let's see how y'all act when he brings his next white girlfriend with him on the red carpet. Toodles. A lot to say for sure. Pierre, I'm going to come to you first. I want your reaction, but also, we heard them talk about, him growing up in Newark. Specifically, L'Oreal talks about, in high school, they did pick on him because of his name, because he was bringing headshots to school. Do you think there's a glorification for thugs over corny dudes?
There was a lot you said. First of all, okay, so she was right on the red carpet. She didn't say the word. Like I told you, she was around an environment, her girl, the other person, that called him corny, so he put them all together as that. But she didn't specifically say he was corny. You know what I'm saying? She said, and the way she grew up, in the hood, Newark, New Jersey, those who know, it is a little rough area. But again, everybody in that area ain't a thorough dude, ain't a tough guy. So I'm so tired of people thinking if you're from South Central Compton, you're gonna be the hardcore dude. There's a lot of guys who aren't in that gang violence or the gang situation in those hoods who, want to becoming doctors, lawyers, or whatever. So just because you're from an area don't mean that's what you got to be, And so Michael B. Jordan might not have been a thug back then. Well, he obviously wasn't a thug, even though he came around thugs. He wound up doing what he's doing. Look at him, he's shining now, doing something different. The glorified thugs, yeah, being a thug is sexy, different. Look at the movie Scarface. People still watch Scarface. People don't know glorified people who aren't really name a quote unquote regular guy or doctor, lawyer, whatever, who is glorified anywhere in the hood. People who are criminal elements, Al Capone, white folks. Crime is a sexy thing to some people, and they want to be around that and think it's sexy. They may not want to participate in it, but they want to be around it because it brings a lot of money and attention. And so criminal activity is what a lot of people feel is a turn on. Look at Capone; he got all the girls. I don't got many girls at Capone, do. He's a criminal. You're fucking shit. I'm a corny dude. I ain't got nobody.
Well, Capone, Pierre's brought you in. Let me bring you in. I want to get your reaction to, of course, hearing the audio, but also because it was mentioned in there. Do you think that thugs are glorified over, corny dudes in our community?
Everybody has their different opinion, but I want to go back to what she said. She said something worse than calling him corny. She called him stupid. She said he was stupid for bringing his headshots to school. This man had a vision a long time ago, and that's why he is successful to this day. When you do things like that and people don't understand it, of course, they're going to call you all these other kind of names because it's unfamiliar territory. So now, look, if you look back, I bet a lot of people wish they carried their headshots to school. The other thing is that Pierre was wrong about me having a lot of women, even though I am a thug. I've been a thug for a long time, and me being a thug doesn't mean I'm a bad guy. I just don't take no shit. And when you don't take no shit, they label you just like anything else. It's hard to work with Capone because I don't accept your money that you offering me, and I feel that my value is higher. So there's different categories of thugism and whatever you want to call it, but it's all about an opinion. Because I'm a corny guy too. I stick to myself. I do my work, and I just don't take shit. So I'm a corny thug.
Absolutely. Well, so let me ask you this, Capone, and I'll start with you here. What defines corniness in the Black community, and why do you think it's looked down upon? We saw obviously he was offended. So for him to be offended at being called corny, why do you think there's such a stigma on corniness? And what exactly is corniness?
Corny is it's an opinion of people when you don't follow what everybody else is doing. Mm-hmm. And sometimes standing out, reading, people who read are called corny people. People who got jobs are called corny people. Somebody who is hanging on the corner, they get all, you get more praise coming from prison than you do going to college. Mm-hmm. So that's the mentality of what, our community has adjusted to. Yeah, we're going to give a party. Big Mike just came home. But, little Mike that went to college for 4 years and trained to be a doctor, he's overlooked in the hood. So the mentality is a real bad mentality. And all I can say about it is just the opinions of people. Whatever you feel like doing in life doesn't determine who you are by the people's opinions.
Pierre, let me bring you in. Same question. What defines corniness in the Black community, and why is it looked down upon?
Well, one thing about the Black community, we're a lot about flash. You know, we like to show what we have. You know, look at, she's talking about investing in Emerge, whatever that company called with the H. You know, we like to show clothes, shoes, bam, bam. We like to be flashy. You know, that's what we like. Diamonds, do it. Well, most people who are, like Capone said, you know, book readers or go to school, they're not into that. They're into their schooling. They're not into the flash. So flash is what turns us on a lot of times. And if we see you and you're not flashy, you might be presumed as being corny, you know, being a more average dresser, reading books, not hanging out at parties, you know. So the ones who hang out at parties and look flashy and all that, those are the cool kids. Those are the ones we want to be around, because us as Black people, we like to be around flash, diamonds, jewelry. You know, from Africa, we always been wearing jewelry and diamonds back in the old days, back in the day. So that's what we like. We like to be around it and see that. Look at some of the rap artists, the people who follow. The more diamonds and chains and shit you had on and blah, 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 that's what I want. The more designer clothes you wear, I want to be like him. So we consider that someone that we want to send to. And we look at someone who reads books and maybe not flashy and just, you know, doesn't really party as a corny individual, where, truth be told, in these days, you know, with the computer and all that, that's the ones who are making that money. You know, at the end of the day, look at the Mark Zuckerberg and all them dudes and shit. They making that money. The other guys got short money normally, but we like the way it looks and flash. And, you know, sometimes you can see people who are billionaires and they look like, you know, Steve Jobs and all that, look like nerds, look like they're wearing stuff you can buy for $20 pair of jeans and, you know, $10 shirt and stuff. So, you know.
Absolutely. I mean, if I'm Michael B. Jordan, by high school, he was in The Wire, Hardball, Cosby, and The Sopranos. So if that's corny, sign me up. I will be okay with being called corny. Now, before we head out, I just have to ask, because both of you are very successful. You know, I don't know what life was like growing up, but I know you both grew up, Pierre, you in DC, Capone, you in New York. So I'm very interested to know, you know, where you are now. Have you ever experienced an incident similar to this? It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, being called corny, but have you ever experienced something similar to this? Capone, I'll start with you.
Well, I've never really been called corny unless somebody said it behind my back. But the one thing that sticks to me is I'm arrogant. You know, I'm arrogant. And it's so amazing to me where that word comes from and how they define you as that because of my color of my skin. Because if I go into a bar and I buy everybody drinks, the average person, the Black person or whatever, be like, oh man, this kid always showing off. He's so arrogant with his success. But if a white man does it, they call him successful. So, you know, it's the thing with, and I don't listen to what people say anymore. I don't let things bother me. I pretty much do what I want to do in life. And I've learned that with that free spirit, it'll take you a lot further. Because when you worry about what people saying, you always got to keep up with the Joneses. And that's not a true successful story.
Pierre, let me bring you in. Same question. Capone kind of added another level to that, so I want to bring it to yours. Have you ever experienced an incident like this? And if so, how do you handle it?
No, because I've been cute and handsome for so long that corny wasn't really brought into the conversation with me. Just being real, I've been cute for a long time and handsome. I turned into handsome, so it wasn't that. Now, I've always been a fly dresser, you know, for those who know me, you know, if you look at my labels, look what it is what it is. But I also kept a pocket full of money too. And I'm very intelligent. I own my own businesses. I've been doing this since 1993, just this. I have no job. I don't go to work for nobody since 1990. That's 30 years of being self-employed, running a business, a business that supports Black people. All my people work for me are Black. So I have a couple of companies. So to be called corny, no. Now, do they call me corny in here? Sure they do on this right here. But remember, you're watching me calling me corny. I'm not watching you, okay? It's another part of my businesses. So, you know, for them to call me that, I think it's because of my opinions at times. I don't flow with how everyone wants me to flow, you know, and that upsets people. So yeah, I've been called corny, but on here. I've never been called corny in my face, never at all. In fact, I've been always praised when I'm out. But here, It's when, when your Apple's 800 on your fucking, your tag on here, Apple's 800. Hey, you're corny. You're corny. You don't even use your real name, sucker. What you talking about? Who you hiding from? Your boss is somebody? You hiding from? I don't hide from nobody. You know who I am. So Apple's 800. When you write, I'm corny. You're Apple's 800, nigga.
Well, I guess I can't relate, Pierre. I guess I can't relate to always looking nice and all these things. That moment reminded me of, I remember, I think I was like, maybe like middle school, high school, can't remember, but I was at the bus stop and my biggest crush that I've ever had was there, and in front of everybody, he just called me ugly. And I felt like the trigger that I saw Michael B. Jordan experience, that was like the trigger that was like, dang, I know what you're feeling. And it sucks that you feel that way. But it's like now, now you've grown into yourself and now you're learning to, as Capone said, like not really worry about what everybody got to say. You just, move and stay with what works for you. Everybody's not like Pierre who just, all the time. You just been fly all the time. Don't lie. No, I love it, and I appreciate y'all for chiming in on this topic as always. Pierre, I'm going to kick it off with you. What do you have coming up, Mr. Perfect? And how can people follow you?
There it is. I like that. This week we have the one and only Isaiah Washington on the PS panel. Very interesting conversation. The actor Isaiah Washington was on there. But right now, I just got back from LA and Arizona. I'm chilling for the next couple of weeks. I'm tired, y'all. I'm gonna stay around the DMV area. So holla at your boy on social media at Comic Pierre. And I noticed this, man, which is kind of cool. People from Comedy Hype get into they actually go into hit me up on, Comic Pierre on Instagram, whatever, and tell me what they think, or appreciate what I do, or if they don't, whatever. But again, thank y'all. And I'm solo dolo. Shout out to my man Capone real quick. Went to see him perform this weekend. Sold out shows at the Bowie Town Center, and my boy Joe Claire and everybody, Alex Thomas, man. Y'all did a great job, brother. Great job, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Well, then I guess that just leads me right on over, Capone. What do you have coming up, Mr. Wonderful? And of course, how can people follow you?
They can follow me on Instagram, Comedian Capone. If you can't spell. I'm not, I won't call you corny. I just say, just study a little harder. That's all. Don't follow me if you can't spell it. Big shout out to all the DMV people. Pierre came through, showed love, hung out with him, talked for a little while. And I was really excited to see him there, because a lot of times comedians don't really show support. And he came out there just to show love. And, we chatted for a minute and he left. And this week coming up, next weekend, I'm in Chicago doing a special show. I'm going to be honest, I don't know where it is. The guy just said, I need you in Chicago. Send me a deposit and I'll find out all the information. But I heard the show is already almost sold out. So I'm happy about that. And I haven't even advertised it yet. But got a lot of things coming up. This is a big month for me as usual. So we'll keep talking about it as it goes along.
Well, as always, I appreciate you both for chiming in on this topic, but you heard from us, now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Michael B. Jordan confronting Morning Hustle host for calling him corny? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
Put it in my cute and handsome comments. Okay. Okay, put in my cute and handsome.
Culture sounds like shea butter, like kente cloth, like hot sauce, like a hug with 2 pats and a slide, like pride. Like a hair bucket with oils and ribbons and bows, like my forces are all white, but my mama black.